Have you ever been the victim of bullying, or do you have somebody, a child or somebody in your life that is impacted by bullying? It really is a big problem. Hi, my name is K.A. Bloch, and I am the award-winning poet and author of 4 books that consist of poetry and prose. Each week on my channel, which is The Practical Poet, I do a weekly poetry reading where I feature a poem and tell the backstory from one of my 4 books or even some new material. And this week, I am featuring a poem called The Bully, which is from my second book called Scatter Seeds of Kindness. This is a really raw and personal story. This is a story that I never thought that I would ever share, let alone in a book or on a social media post or even on a YouTube video. It was something that I just thought I would always keep to myself. But I'm telling the story because I'm hoping that maybe it touches somebody, that maybe somebody who is impacted by bullying can relate to this story. And as I was writing the poem, I realized that I really wasn't the victim of bullying per se. I mean, there was nothing physical that happened to me. It was just a lot of name calling at somebody that targeted me out and called me a horrible name, and just kind of made my high school years not so fun. Um, like I mentioned, a very raw and personal story. Most of the time when bullying comes to an end, it's because either the high school or the school year ends and we move in different directions, or the bully gets bored and moves on to a different target, unfortunately. Ideally, the bullying ends because somebody finds the gumption to stand up to the bully and say, we're not going to take it anymore, which is what I wish I had done all those years ago. But I was, I'm a lot older and wiser and tougher now than I was back then. But this bullying story actually comes to a conclusion in a different and tragic way. There's something that happens to the bully and I tell the story in the book through the poem. And the bully ends up having a tragedy in his family, and that completely changes who he is. And as a result of that, the bullying for me stopped. He just didn't have it within him to pick on anybody anymore, including myself. But there was a teaching moment in this story where I encountered the bully and I saw how broken he was, and I whispered something to him that I was sorry for his pain and that I was sorry for what him and his family were going through. And he kind of nodded to me, and we kind of came to a little bit of an agreement of, 2 hurt people here that are meeting in the hallway. And um, I, I'm proud of myself at that young age for having that empathy or sympathy, to be able to say, hey, you've hurt me terribly, but I'm sorry that you're hurting now. So I think it's moments like that that shape our character. And if you want to hear this story, it is called The Bully. It is on my channel at The Practical Poet. I will link it below. Thanks. Bye.